Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, August the, gosh, what is today? The 8th?
7th.
7th, August the 7th. So, we are doing our Friday video. No coffee and questions on Fridays. You guys remember that. So, we got several different things. Normally, I only do one subject per Friday video. But this week, I want to get like 2 or 3 things all together. So, we had Doug from YouTube. Don't know your last name, Doug, because it's not on your little icon there. But anyway, wanted to know what we've been doing, you know, if I've been working on any signs. So here's a ranch sign that I'm just getting ready to ship out. So this one was pretty simple. They had a specific logo that they wanted on there. They liked inset letters rather than outset. So this one is 2 foot by 3 foot. It's got Helmsman spar urethane on it, I'm going to tell you exactly how I went about it. But it's got a pretty nice coat. This is going to someplace in North Carolina, so I wanted to make sure, and again, it's a ranch sign, so I wanted to make sure it had a really good exterior finish on it. So what I did on this one, you can see it's got a real nice gloss to it. What I did is I put, I think
Hold it back up again, son.
Oh.
I want to turn these lights off. They're glaring off of that thing.
Too much shine on there?
And I didn't realize it.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. I don't have those lights, although I do have lights from here kind of shining on it, but that's much better.
Okay. All right. So anyway, this is 2 foot by 3 foot, and it's got the Helmsman spar urethane finish on it. So what I did, so you got that now, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what I did was I put 2 coats with the light with the spray can, and sealed it up with that. That's on the front, the back, the edge, everything. And then I used the same product but in the brush, and I brushed on 2 coats on top of the spray can, and it worked out really good. It stayed right on top. It's a nice gloss finish. It kind of thickened up, so it worked out really well. So that's what I do when I know signs are going in maybe an extreme, or I know for sure that they're going to be, you know, outside in possible extreme weathers. Just one weather. I always put I brush coat on. Takes a little bit longer. It's kind of a hassle, but that's the way I like to do it because I've never had one fail. So and this sign, by the way, is different than the ranch sign that you saw, which was gosh, the star, I don't know, that one that I showed on Coffee and Questions, the big one. It was like 3 foot by 64 long. It was that was done with the sandwich, the panel board. Man, my mouth's not working today. My mind's just going so fast. So that was done with panel board, and then the backer on the front. This was done, this is 2-inch redwood 2x4s and 2x6s. In fact, you can see the laminations. You got a 2x6, 2x4, 2x6, 2x4, 2x6, 2x4. Anyway, it's a mixture of, I don't do it in any specific patterns, but it's 2x4s and 2x6s laminated, edge laminated up with Gorilla Glue and clamps. And you guys have seen me do that before. For you new people, go back and look at, in fact, I'll put in the, up above me about now, I'll put the video where it shows me laminating these boards together. So as compared to the sandwich laminating or the panel board laminating. Okay, that's enough of that. So we got to ship that one. We'll be shipping that one in the next couple days. So that was the first thing that I wanted to go over today. Now, the next thing is we got a request from, let me see here, again, I normally do these videos, guys, where I just cover one subject, but I wanted to get several different things out on this one. So this one, that's what it was. It was Mike Caruso. Mike was asking about doing fine detail with a bigger router. You guys know that my favorite router is the DWP611, or you guys, most of you do, and that's a fairly small router. Well, this is the big 618. And before the 611s came on and I figured out how to modify those and make those work, I always use big routers. That's all there really was before I started using the palm router. So I want to do a detailed carving today using a bigger router. So I just kind of picked this out. I used the same process here using the spray-on glue that I did on video number 138, I believe it was. 137, 138. Just a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, where I carved that the puppy dog and the little scorpion. So I used the same process that I used on those videos, where I used the spray adhesive and then stuck it on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and carve this, but this one's a little bit different in the fact that this is all going to be inset, where those images, the scorpion and the puppy dog, those were outset, and I put a background around them. This is a kind of a silhouette, so this is all going to be inset. So I'm going to do it, it's going to come out a little bit different than the outset one. Got that, Dad?
Got it.
All right, so let's get this show on the road. Get this out of the way. Okay, now the other issue that I want to do is this is specifically going to be geared around people that are not really used to handling stuff like this. I've been doing it since I was a little kid, so it all comes kind of second nature to me, and Dad and I make it look easy just because we've done it for so long. But there's a lot of you out there that may be new to the routers, the sanders, that kind of stuff. So Clark Ward specifically was asking, he's kind of nervous about using a router and how you position it when you turn it on, turn it off, some of the just general safety stuff. So first things first, I guess, is never plug an electric tool in without assuming that the switch is on. Trust me, I've had a lot of close calls way early on. So never plug it in without absolutely assuming that the switch is on. That's number one. Number two, understand this thing will try to take your finger if it gets a chance. My mentality, anytime I'm using a power tool, is I'm going to control this, but this will take my finger, and it wants to. So I automatically have a healthy fear of any tool that I'm using. And I've talked to guys about this specifically over the phone, and I've talked about it on video. So understand that this thing doesn't care whether this is the 100,000th sign that I've done, which is probably about how many I've done, or it's the first. It makes no difference. It'll take my finger just as fast as it will yours. So just you want to have a healthy respect and a fear for these things, and understand that they will take your finger if you give them a chance to. So when you're turning the router on, I would always have either I wouldn't do it with my hand and my arm up in the air like this. If I'm not going to ground the router itself to the board or down, which is really the best way to do it, I'm definitely going to have my arm grounded on the table. So then because when these things kick on, especially the bigger ones, they have a pretty good jolt to them. So you want to have a good hold of them, a good grip. But the best way, the safest way really is ground it on the table. Make sure there's nothing in route of that of the router bit. There's no way that something's going to happen. And then when it kicks on, and I won't talk over this because it's really loud. I almost did anyway. It's got kind of a slow start, this particular one, but there are some routers that have a very fast start. This one does, so it doesn't jolt real bad, but some of them do. So be careful. Just have a good grip in that, and have that thing grounded on the table somewhere when you start it up.
And when they have a soft start like this one does, they don't have a lot of torque on the takeoff. But some routers don't have the soft start, right, and they torque instantly. So you got to be careful.
And they'll jump right out of your hand.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a good idea to have a good grip on the handle. Two hands if you can. You could have both hands on there and reach up and hit that switch. Really didn't mean to hit that switch. But at the very least, ground it, and with one hand have a good grip. Make sure nothing's in the way, and then hit your switch. Then when you turn it off, exactly the same thing. Go ahead and ground it. and then switch it off. Have a good grip on it and then switch it off. It's a little bit easier when you're turning it off because it doesn't jolt like it might if you don't have a soft start on a brand new one. So that type of process really is for us. Anything that you're using like any kind of an electric power tool, that's always a good way to go. Dad, any other comments that you can think
No,
of
you
on
covered
that?
it pretty well, son.
Okay, so anyway, Clark, I hope that helps a little bit. And any of you basically newbies, it's kind of warm out here in Arizona today. I'm probably shining like that sign was. So yeah, it's probably over 100 and kind of humid. We're in monsoon season. So I'm going to go ahead and get the router fired up, and I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Get my spectacles on here. So anyway, thanks again, guys, for all the great comments and questions. And stay tuned. Next Friday, we're going to announce the date for the next LTS. So it gives everybody plenty of chance. But if you're watching this now and you automatically want to get an invite to the LTS, I'll put my email right up here somewhere. So send me an email and I'll specifically put you on the list so that when we set the date and we schedule it, you'll get an invite. So start sending those.
For new people, LTS is live training session.
Live training session done with GoToWebinar, where we have instant feedback back and forth. As a matter of fact, within a couple of days, I'll be posting on our regular channel the links or the videos from our we recorded the LTS live training session, and it'll be on our regular YouTube channel within a couple of days. Right now, it's on makeawoodsign.com. So anyway, all right. So let's get this. Adjust this. You must have been wearing this yesterday, Dad, or today.
Yeah, I wore that when I was grinding some bits.
Yeah, you got a bigger dome than I do, more brains. All right, so let's see. Let me adjust my depth here. So some of you may be asking how deep I'm going. I would say, if I had to guess, I'd say right now about a 32nd. I'll take a look and see how that works, and then we may have to adjust. With me, Dad?
I'm with
Is
you.
that cord going to be all right?
Yeah, we'll hope so.
Okay. Yeah, a little too deep.
Now, the purpose of this video is just to show that you can do fine detail work with a bigger router.
Yeah.
Is that my understanding?
That is correct. Well, this video had several purposes, but that was the main one. And then the other purpose was the last time I did this on 137 and 138, I got several different comments and tips on a different way to get this paper off rather than just sanding it. So I tried it earlier and it seemed to work out pretty well. So with any luck at all, it'll work out now that I'm on camera. So let's see. So the suggestion I got is use a heat gun. So this is just a little heat gun that we've had for a long time. And they say if you use a heat gun, then it helps to peel all of this paper off. And I think I would tend to agree. That is pretty cool. All there is a couple little pieces there, and that's it. That paper is gone. That's pretty cool. So, pretty nifty, huh?
Excellent.
Yeah, that works pretty good. So now, what we need to do is I want to go back and I want to make those lines a little bit darker. The issue that I'm going to have, that I didn't think about till right now, is it's still got some of that residue that I don't really want sticking on my router base. So I'm kind of trying to get rid of a little bit of that. If I had a little sanding block, it would be a little bit easier, but I think this is taking care of most of it. I think I'll be all right. I'll be just kind of aware of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my cutter a little bit deeper and I'm going to go back in and make a second cut. This video is actually going to be longer than I thought it was going to be. There's just a lot of stuff here. So let's set that router bit about, down to maybe about 1/8. And I want to take all of those little things out. Like all of this stuff in here. I want everything, all of those inside of those lines I want black. So I'm going to just go in there a little bit deeper and take all that stuff out. Here we go. So you can see also that if I find, because of the way that paper sometimes burrs up, some of that little detail you can kind of, it kind of gets blurred sometimes, but once that paper is gone, you can always go back in and maybe straighten out a few of those lines. So now, let's just spray that. We'll let it dry and then we'll come back and see
You want to tip that up? Let me
Yeah.
get a close-up on it. Okay.
Okay. Now, this is the paint. You know, that's the primer paint that we use. And again, when we started this whole thing today, this came right out of the refrigerator. Now it's kind of warmed up a little bit, so hopefully it won't be too warm. No, it's actually spraying pretty good. But notice, guys, how I have a real light touch with that. I can tell that it's warmed up because it's coming out a little bit faster than it would if it was just right out of the fridge. So we're going to give that a minute or two to dry, and then we'll come back in the next scene and we'll sand it off, see what it looks like. Alright, so we're all got this all dried. We're going to now sand it off and see what it looks like.
You want to tell them what belt you're using there and why you're sanding the way you are?
This is a 40, and when I'm doing the face, I go with the grain. Anytime I'm sanding the face of the sign, if I was doing the back, I'd probably go cross grain. But when I'm sanding the face of the sign, I always sand with the grain. I'm leaving this stuff here because it's just a piece of scrap, so I don't need to sand the whole thing. If this
point that out to them. That's good for them to know.
Yeah, if this was for a customer, I would sand the whole surface of it. But in this particular instance, since I'm just showing this artwork and for time purposes, so that was my 40 grit. Now I'm going on with my 80 grit and smooth it out. A little bit of a tracking issue with this sander, but it's alright. You can see I used this on the last video we did. Where's my air hose? Alright. That's how she came out.
Okay, hold it right there.
Not too bad.
No, that's excellent. That's nice detail, and that's you did that just let them know they can use a bigger router for fine detail. If they don't have a DWP, if they don't have a palm router, they can still get the fine detail with their big router.
You can, absolutely. It's just a little bit more cumbersome, but if you've only got one router in your arsenal, and that's what I always say, if you only got one router to pick, I would probably pick that big one that I just used, the 618, if you don't have the availability, because that 618 will do everything. It'll cut your shapes. It's got enough power to do anything that you want to do, including the detail. Now, when you can afford to get another router for a detail router, that's where I would go with the 611 or the Porter-Cable 450, basically the same thing. It's a little palm router. And then modify it to, and it will be easy to do the detail.
Bosch and Rigid also make palm routers that are excellent routers.
Right, and our base fits all of those. Our base plate, our custom base plate. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. I went a little bit long. I apologize. I wanted to try and keep it down around 20 minutes, but I think I missed that mark. So here's the deal. So be sure, and because I've talked to a few people lately, and they didn't realize about the whole subscribe thing. If you're watching our videos, our channel for the first time, be sure and go on here and subscribe. Underneath all of our videos, there'll be a little subscribe button. That way when you subscribe, you'll automatically get notification. And see, we do 6 videos a week. This is Friday's video, and we do the coffee and questions during the week. And then there'll be another one tomorrow morning. So if you guys haven't subscribed, go on and subscribe.
All they do is click on that subscribe button, right?
Just click on that subscribe button and it'll walk you through, and then that way you'll automatically get an email every time we put out a new video. So be sure and subscribe. Go on and like our page on Facebook if you would, and any of the stuff that you see on our blogs. Just spread the word, share it as much as you can. We sure appreciate it. All right, you guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for Coffee and Questions. Have a great night. Bye-bye.